The next step is, as far as utilizing ProfitMAX, is to create documents in the system. A document can be a number of different things. We have envelopes. You can actually click on search. I'll just go to an anniversary postcard here. The way these are set up is the main body is generally set up for the offer or the message that you want to give to the customer. Congratulations, it's your anniversary. We'd like to invite you to enjoy a very special evening with us. Join us and we'll give you a bottle of wine, $15 value, whatever the offer might be. The second body is where we generally put the address information. In this case, they're putting the expiration date above it. Then they're putting the first and spouse's name and the last name and their address, city, state, and zip for the address label. The third body doesn't have anything, and the fourth body doesn't have anything in the case of a postcard. Now, with each one of your documents that you have a name, and then you have an ID, which is optional. But the most important part is the document style itself. In the document style itself, we have predefined boxes in here that have different setups for whether you're doing a small postcard, and you can add your own if you want. If you're doing a large postcard, a standard letter, so on and so forth. So in this case, I'm just using the small 5.5 by 4 1/4 logo box postcard. If I come in, I can right click and I can go to edit, and that will actually bring up a rich text editor, which will allow you to type it in, and then you can just highlight the information. If you want it bigger, you can change the font size. If you want to change the color, you can click on the color palette. Now, don't get confused on this, because you have the editing, and this is for printing purposes. If it's an email message, then changing the colors or the font size will not actually insert the HTML code needed to facilitate that. And then once you make your changes, you can answer yes or no to save your changes, and then it will display it there on the screen. The other options that you have as you're composing your messages is that you have tokens within the program that link different fields of information that you keep about your customers that you can insert into the message. You can just type them in if you know what they are, or you can use this insert token section to actually put those in for you, such as the address or the expire date, and then those will be populated when you run the campaign. Within your documents, you can search for documents. I mean, it doesn't matter what celebrations you're doing. Each thing has a document, whether it's an envelope or a label, a postcard, Other types of documents that we have in the system is for email. Now, on the email, if you're using the ProfitMAX templates, which I would recommend, you can quickly go down on the main body, just go down to right click and say HTML template, and then you can specify any of the templates that you want. So if I wanted to use this golf 2, that would put all the HTML in there, so you don't need to worry about that. Now you'll notice here that we have the fourth body text, the second body, and the third body here. And what you would do on that is, under the second body is really the message, the happy anniversary, whatever you'd like it to say. The third body is really the fine print or the disclaimer of the email, not valid on Friday and Saturday nights, whatever it might be. And then the fourth body is something that we generally develop for each one of our clients, and that's for the static information that you want on every one of your emails. Within the documents, you can actually right-click, and you can, if you want to load information from a file that maybe Nick or myself has prepared for you, an RTF file, you can just hit load for file, browse for it, and it'll insert it in. Now, once you compose these together, what you do is you click on HTML and it'll bring up the preview. The fourth body here is for trappers. We put in a link there for map directions, the phone number, hours of operation. If you want to put other buttons there for other things, make reservations, or your Facebook link, or whatever you'd like to do, we can put them all in the fourth body. But the second body is really where the main message comes in. When you do that, on the second body, you can just type it in plain text, and it will use the font that's defined within the main body. However, the second body also supports HTML, so that if you want to have different colors, font sizes, a little bit more creativeness in it, you can put that in there. If you're not familiar with HTML, what I would recommend is to in your RM Gmail account, you can go under the email manager and you can go to the HTML pad, and it will actually allow you to add your own document bodies here. And here's some that I use internally. The today's telewebinar notice that I just sent out, I just actually wrote it in here. From within here, I can create links to websites to join the conference. You can insert images if you know the URL addresses for them, so on and so forth. And then once you have everything done inside the HTML pad that you want, all you have to do is click on the HTML button and it turns it all into your HTML. And then all you'd have to do is take that information, highlight it, and copy it, and then come back into ProfitMAX and just paste it in place of it. Then at that point, the HTML is there. And then when you go to the HTML preview again, there's the content of the message. So it is relatively simple to do. It takes a little bit of practice, and once you get the hang of it, it is a very easy way to get things done. The document style uses a component called the Rave Editor, which is an area where most of you won't have to have too much involvement in that, but it does offer a lot of flexibility in it. So how this works is on the first, second, third, and fourth body, you basically have those positioned on the piece of paper. In this report, you can specify the size of the paper, you can specify where you want information printed, and you can just move them around, or you can change the size of them to fit the content that you want to have published in there. Within here, there's a number of different options, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but you do have a lot of tools up here at the top. So if I wanted to come in and I wanted to associate a barcode on it, I could click on a barcode and then insert that in, move it to where I want it to be, and then over here on the property side of things, I can go to the data view and I can just select event data view, come down here, and then I can jump down here and associate that barcode with the zip code associated to the, so that it can automatically be printed when you print your postcards. Now, unless you have all zip +4, the barcode's not going to do you any good with the Postal Service and reducing your rate, so a lot of people just elect not to do that. But it can be done if the database supports it. So anyway, getting back to the report itself, the different bodies, you just position them on the page where you want them. When you close out, it'll ask you if you'd like to save changes, and I don't want to change these. And then at that point, you can define your message, and once you have the document done, the description of the document is the document type that you're going to select when you run an event.